did you want me here again?
Musical, welcome to my lair. What? You don't like my evil lair, or my evil castle, or my evil lightning?
How can lightning be Never mind. Why are you talking like some hammy villain anyways?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because today we're going to be talking about villains and TPIs.
Oh, did you not have me just show up for the...
Hello everybody, Crazy Chandelure here, bringing you another episode of TPI Talk. Today I'm joined with a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Musical Meloetta.
And today we are going to be talking about villains in TPI, a topic I'm very interested in because I personally love writing villains and stories. So we're just going to talk about that, and if you'd like to check out Musical's channel, her channel will be linked down below.
Yeah, let's get this rolling.
So would you like to start us off? Just talk about some of your thoughts about some villains and TPIs?
Alright. Villains and TPIs, that's kind of like, it can be controversial depending on what the person does. So, I guess I could take Riolu from 2319's, Abandon. He's kind of like a controversial one where he's like that nice guy, but he is trying to trick everyone into not believing, and like they haven't even found him out yet, which I'm kind of surprised they still haven't found him out because it's pretty obvious in a sense.
Yeah, because I know some people have confronted him on it, like Munchlax and Tyrogue and Eevee, but I think that's it. Oh, and Fletchinder too.
Yeah.
But Riolu's
I just
probably one. Oh, sorry.
oh, I just think that it's why haven't they found him out? It's pretty easy.
Well, I think it's happening soon. I'm not entirely sure, but I do really like Riolu. He's probably one of my personal favorites, and once again, I'm not even sure because a lot of people define him as more of an antagonist as compared to a villain because he can still play fair and he's not actively trying to sabotage anyone. So a lot of people consider him as more of an antagonist than actually a villain.
Yeah. I guess we could bring up like I'm gonna bring up two old TBIs like Nikki Nortu's TBI because there are some villains in that like Miss Magius, Flaffy or Ambrose. You could kind of say Dragonair in a sense.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to be honest. I've not even watched Nikki's TPI.
You haven't?
No, I've not. I've not been advised to as well. So I think that speaks to the quality.
Well, it hasn't aged well, honestly.
Yeah, but we're not here to rag on Nikki's show. I think Telly, Sarcastic Slow King, and Infernape have got that covered on their podcast.
Yeah, but I'll just give a basis to like what the villains did, so you can know. Miss Magius and Flaffy / Ambrose, TPA, she basically was like, hey, I have this rocket power. I'm going to get like powerful. And now she's using Mammothline because Mammothline ate the rocket power. She basically tried to get out Pupitar. Miss Magius, same thing. Like they almost killed Pupitar in season 1. And Dragonair, she kicked out her parents because she didn't want to deal with them. And then she got out Typhlosion's boyfriend, which in the end was a really bad idea because now Typhlosion and her fight all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so someone actually died? Well, someone nearly died in that show?
Yep.
Well, that's... Wow. Definite TPI. I never thought I'd hear that.
I mean, I've tried to do it before, but literally I fail at life.
Oh, it's not that bad. Though I do think one of the most important things, because if anyone's taking anything away from these, which I kind of hope they are, otherwise this is entirely pointless. But
yeah,
the thing I would recommend for a villain is, well, don't make them evil just for being evil. That's what I
Oh,
feel like. Because you can have evil for being evil villain, because I can feel like that can be a villain, but make
mhm.
them really hammy. Like, don't try and have them as like this super serious, dark, edgy villain just if they're evil for being evil. Just like have some fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, take what's his name, Michael 545 with his licky licky. He kind of had fun with that, including with Sable Eyes.
Yeah, like they didn't really have any sort of like motivation or anything like that, but
Oh,
they just liked being evil, so they were evil. And like they were a threat, but they were also kind of hammy at the same time, which made them fun to watch. So I feel like
yeah.
that's definitely a thing that you should do if you are just having an evil for being evil villain.
Mhm. Honestly, you just took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. Though another thing is, well, I feel like not many villains in TPIs are bad because most of them aren't even
Oh,
real villains. They're just more so antagonists. Because in a game like this, you do need to be quite cutthroat at points.
yeah. You can kind of take from not an actual TBI but total drama. You can take Alejandro and say he's not an antagonist, but he's actually a villain because
Yeah,
fun to watch. But he took down girls by um putting them in like a trance of them like thinking he likes them and then takes them out.
yeah. Which I definitely thought was interesting, though. Another thing I would recommend is maybe, well, I'm not trying to be that person that's like, you always need to do something original, but just try not to copy and paste villains. Like, like, just try and think of something that you could maybe add to, like, if you want to do the Alejandro trope. Alejandro, did I even say that right? But
Alejandro.
yeah, but if you want to try and do a villain like Alejandro, just I would recommend try and add something new to him, or just try and change it up a little bit because you like I can understand you want to take inspiration from other like antagonists or villains in other shows because in my upcoming TPI I do have a couple of inspirations from other villains. I'm not going to get into too much
Yeah.
detail here, but just I recommend trying to change it up a little bit.
And I'll rag on my TPI a bit 'cause, I have a right to. Do not do what I did with Zorua, call or have like everyone kind of be a racist in a sense. Just have like if you're gonna have a villain, make sure it's like really fun to watch. Because Zorua was kind of fun to watch, but she does have a like a deeper story, which I'll go into season 2 about, like what was going on. But yeah, just try to make sure you have fun and make sure it's like you're not copying everyone's villain.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about twist villains?
Ooh, twist villains. I kind of like that because it's like, again, if you look at Bannon's Riolu, you didn't know he was a villain at first. You thought he was like a really nice guy, and then turn that Riolu twist on him, or that twist, and you find out he's a villain.
Yeah. Also for Telly's show with Nidoking, that really came out of well, I'm not gonna be
Oh
mean, but that
yes.
was not expecting Nidoking in the slightest.
I wasn't either. I was like, what? I
Yeah, I
would have
thought
said,
after being oh, sorry.
oh, I was gonna say I would have suspected Electivire after like the original.
Yeah. Though I do recommend one thing with twist villains, try and have subtle hints. Like it can be good for shock value at the time, but if you're looking back on your show and then it's just like for some reason your really nice character just suddenly turned out to be a villain, then I would recommend maybe having some kind of hints.
Yeah.
Like I think a really good example of a twist villain in something that isn't a TPI, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that I've watched this movie, but Frozen. I feel well. I like the music. Okay, it was a
It
good.
was
It was
I liked it too, no worries. I watched it when it came out.
I went to like this community cinema event that we had, and for like a charity that I work for, and we watched it there, and I actually liked it, and I'm a bit embarrassed to admit that.
Don't be embarrassed. It's actually not a bad thing to like. It had really good music, and I like to listen to like the deleted songs because they're better than the actual songs in the movie.
Ooh, throwing shade there, musical. But I feel like Hans was actually like, I know this isn't TPI related, but this is just an example of a twist villain. Like I feel like Hans was actually pretty good because if you watch the movie again after knowing that well, I'm not going to say spoilers because it's been like what 4 or 5 years, but like I feel like he was actually quite good because if you go back and watch the movie again, you can kind of notice a couple of like subtle body languages and like see the things that he
Yeah.
does in like a different light. Like if you do that, then I feel like you don't need to have really obvious clues of like you're typically nice guy just doing some weird like evil stuff out of nowhere.
Yeah. I
Like,
honestly feel that.
yeah, because subtlety is key with twist villains. But don't feel like you have to do twist villains because it all depends on what you feel confident that you can write. Because if you feel more confident to write hammy over the top, oh, I'm evil for being evil, my master plan, and blah 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 blah. Or if you really want to do like a twist villain, just do whatever like is comfortable for you to write. You don't even have to have villains if you don't want to. Like, don't feel pressurized to add a villain or an antagonist. You could just have normal characters or something like that.
Yeah. And here's something I advise doing against if you have a villain. Do not do the hypnotism trope. It is so overdone, and I'm
Oh
so pissed
my
that people
god.
still do it.
Yeah, the hypnotism trope. Now, I personally wouldn't do it, but yeah, the hypnotism trope can be a bit annoying.
I honestly did it once, and I feel so bad that I did it because it was so.
I mean, you learned your lesson, so I don't feel like. But
No.
but yeah, like I feel like it all depends on how you do it. Like, for example, you could maybe do it to develop your character a bit more because have you seen Sophisticated Squirtle's TPI or like Total Pokemon Cursed Island?
No, I have not yet. I need to.
Oh, I don't want to say it then because it will spoil things.
Go ahead. I'm fine with spoilers.
All right, well, just I've warned you, so don't get mad.
Well,
But for example, one Pokemon which is Cypher, it is more kind of possession than hypnotism, but he was possessed for a couple of episodes and wasn't really acting himself, and now Sophisticated Squirtles use that to develop Cypher's personality more, which I feel like
yeah.
if if that's your goal with hypnotism, do it, but don't just do it for a couple of episodes. Have the person be freed and then be like, just ignore it. Like, if it happens, I recommend you just focus on it a bit and then just have it work into someone's development.
It kind of reminds me, I think it was 16 Max Stars, or it was like a TBI watch back in the day. They had like, yeah, it was 16 Max Stars because it was Magby. Basically, he got hypnotized and he had to get his friends and his girlfriend slash future wife, because they had a child together, don't ask, uh, had to free him because, basically, he was, like, they had to throw him in lava to get him out of the trance.
Ah,
What do you ask how that works?
I
I
mean,
don't
I
even
think
know.
I think when it comes to old TPIs that I've not seen, I've learned just not to ask questions anymore.
So you're just not even shocked.
I mean, it's TPIs. We do a lot of random stuff that doesn't make any sense,
And true. Oh, that's very true.
but yeah, like I feel like if you are going to do hypnotism, make it so you have like you can get the person undone or something like that, or have it tie into their arc, because it is a bit annoying when you've got like a character that gets removed from the show just because it's like, oh, they were hypnotized and didn't contribute to the challenge, so gone.
Kind of reminds me like Mareep slash Flaffy and Nikki Doors. Basically, she tried to pull off this trope that Honchkrow hypnotized her to be a part of the whole issue, and in reality, she wasn't. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
quite clever, actually.
Oh, it didn't work because everyone knew Flaffy was a filthy liar.
Oh. Probably should have kept up. Probably should have kept the game face on so they didn't realize that, but at least you
And they
tried.
kind of, well, I mean, they knew it because like she got eliminated later in the I think it was that episode or later, where she was just like, "Oh, Honchko hypnotized me," and he's like, "I did not." Actually made it to the final four. This is a little spoiler because it's very old.
Yeah, like I don't mind spoilers. I mean, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch Nikki's TPI.
At least watch 16 Maxars, which I really highly recommend that one. If you don't want to watch someone who's egotistical, I would mainly suggest 16 Maxar.
I might give it a watch then. But getting back on topic, because I feel like we're going on a tangent a little bit. But
Yeah.
another, well, I'm trying to think of what to add about that now. Another thing for villains I would recommend is, well, this is more so about the hypnotized villain trope. Have them have them maybe, well, I feel like you should have them acknowledge their actions. Like if you have them do some pretty scummy things while hypnotized, have them acknowledge them or feel bad about them or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they're going to regret it. It's just like, don't, they should know what it is, not have them forget everything and everyone gives them dirty looks without them knowing what happened.
Yeah. Because, like, in sub, it's just like a Pokemon gets hypnotized, do some bad stuff, and then they just never bring it up again.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like you don't, like, as I was, like, about my villain point earlier, about, like, you don't need to have a villain. You don't need to classify them as a villain, because feel free to do an antagonist. Just have them be a bit, like, more cutthroat. Like, you don't have to have, like, a villain, per se. Just, like, the same thing for a good antagonist is the same thing, like, the logic is the same for a good villain and a good antagonist. Have them have their reasons. Make sure they, like you can have them be honorable if you want, or you can just have them be completely cutthroat, like do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like how Bouncy's making Butterfree now. Like that changed, so she's more like cutthroat, but less the inappropriate swear word nickname that was given to her.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add, or?
No, not that I can think of. I might go on a rant later today about Dragonair again in my own.
Yeah, I can try. I can tell that that was pretty bad.
I mean, I've already made a rant on her before, so.
Yeah. So this might have been a bit dysfunctional, but I hope you enjoyed this second episode of TPI Talk. As I said, Musical's channel will be down below, so please go check her out. And if you want to be on TPI Talk or have a topic you'd like for me to discuss, please let me know down in the comment section down below.